Okay, y'all, are you currently in a job or an environment or locked into structures and routines that leave you feeling drained, depleted, or unfulfilled? Now, we always talk about physical health, but where you spend the majority of your time and what you spend it doing is just as important as the food you put in your body. Just as you feed yourself physically, the environment that you're in, the place that you live, the people that you find yourself around most of the time are what's feeding you energetically. Hello, and welcome to the Higher Vibe Society podcast. So glad you are tuned in. And if you are tuned in for the very first time, my name is Dana Blackburn, and I'm a spiritual wellness coach and teacher. And I teach through the lens of spirituality, energy work, and metaphysics. So, really, what this episode is about is that I had a realization. And if any of y'all have Caribbean parents, you know that saying, who don't hear must feel? I realized that, God, source, the universe, like a parent, will allow us to put ourselves into situations that may not be the best for us. And it's all for a reason. Let me jump into story time and you'll understand what I'm saying. So a couple years ago, left my job, wanted to branch out and embark on this new journey. And things weren't quite going the way I had planned in the time that I had planned it. So I figured I maybe needed to step back into the workforce, not going into an office every day like I had done for the past 17 years was new. It was different. It was exciting. It was what my soul needed at that time. And so because it happened to be approaching summertime, I would go into this office and I would literally be looking outside the window behind me like a puppy, just like scratching at the door, waiting to get outside. That is how I felt all the time, all day, every day. Not to mention, I didn't love the environment. I wasn't inspired by the work. And I realized that every time I would leave and I would come home, I would be too tired to work on my own business. I would just feel so drained, so depleted, like I didn't have the energy, which in turn kind of made me even more sad and drained. I remember sitting at the desk one day and saying, God, if I'm not supposed to be here, like, do your thing, because this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel good. And even being in my career for so many years, I was always actually excited to get up and go to work because I loved what I did. This was a very different feeling, one that I was not used to. Now, what I want to remind y'all is when y'all ask God, when y'all ask the universe for something, it's already done. It might not necessarily happen the way that you'd like it to, but it's happened, and it's going to happen in the path of least resistance. So here's how it happened for me. Now, as a mom of two children, things happen. Kids get sick, schools close for whatever reason, and I don't have family that's close to me that's not working to be able to watch my kids when I got to go to work. Now, this was a situation where I either needed to take time off or work from home. Now, I explained the situation, probably gave more details than I needed to, and yet it was still met with insensitivity and, quite frankly, disrespect. The lack of humanity, the lack of empathy and compassion reminded me why I didn't want an office job in the first place. And it is not to say that all companies are like this, because I had great experiences at other places. But it was a reminder of how harsh, cruel, and unaccommodating the American workforce can be to mothers. So basically, when the matter was escalated, my supervisor's supervisor told her that I needed to figure out, because Susie over in accounting is a single mom and she figures it out. I said, oh yeah, Monday morning, I would like a meeting with all of y'all. In this meeting, I had to politely let them know that I don't give a fuck what Susie's doing. And our situations are completely different. But why should I have had to do that in the first place? So after a few minutes of that and seeing that we were not getting anywhere, I quietly went back to my desk, packed my things, went back to my manager's supervisor's office, and let her know that I didn't think this was a good fit. And I left because I was pretty sure if we had to have a conversation like that again, it would have gotten ugly. Now, side note, I do not pretend to be love and light all the time. It's unreasonable and unrealistic. I am just a human being with feelings just like everybody else. What she didn't know is my Mars, which is how you fight, is in Aries. If you know, you know. My soft, sweet Pisces sun was the only thing saving her that day. Okay, and we're back. But the most important piece of this story was how I felt when I pulled out of the parking lot. When I pulled out of the parking lot, to this day, I can remember this wave of relief that washed over me. It's literally like my shoulders came down from my ears. It's as if I knew the whole time I wasn't supposed to be there and the universe was just waiting for me to figure it out. Y'all, sometimes when we're making decisions from a place of stress, lack, fear, the universe is going to allow us to go into misaligned situations because it needs us to understand the contrast. It needs us to understand the difference between misalignment and being alignment. Sometimes it needs us to feel that depletion, that disconnection, that feeling of being miserable, so that it's a clear sign, a clear indication that we know we're in a situation or with people or in environments that we should not be with. Now, how did I confirm this in my birth chart? I looked at my sixth house. Your sixth house rules your day-to-day environments. This could be your work. This could be your practices, your routines, your structures that you have in place that you are doing almost on a day-to-day basis. In my sixth house, I have Pisces, which happens to be my sun sign. It is my core expression. It is my battery. My life force energy sits in that sixth house of my day-to-day practices, routines, structures, and environments. So what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis has everything to do with my physical, mental, emotional health and well-being. Because my sun is in this house, this is an area of my life where I do not get to settle for things that don't work for me because I will feel it, mind, body, and spirit. Now, because I have Pisces in this house, it requires that I have daily structures and environments that promote flow, that promote peace, that feel like safe, calm spaces where I feel supported and where I can support others. That company that I worked for checked none of those boxes. And that's why I had such a hard time and eventually manifested myself out of it. Now, if you want to understand what kind of environments best suit your energy, promote wellness, productivity, and flow, pull up them chart. If you have air signs in your sixth house, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, you may need mental stimulation. Working in an office environment might actually be really good for you. It might be the thing that you need. Any place where you can share your ideas with people, where you can serve. This is really great for anyone who's in sales or who communicates or shares ideas for a living. Gemini, you may need variety. You may need change. Having the same routine day after day may not work for you. Libra, you need balance. Any place where you can cultivate great relationships or great partnerships will be really good for you. Also, any place with a really nice aesthetic. Libras love beauty. Aquarius, anything out of the normal, unconventional will suit you. If you have fire signs in the sixth house, you may want to be more mobile. Action is important for you. Maybe not necessarily in an office setting, but even if it is anything that is high action, high productivity, fast pace, something that will keep you inspired and on your toes and stimulated is probably going to be the thing for you. You also need to feel passionate about what it is you're doing. Aries, you need the freedom to move around. Maybe this could be with travel or something that requires some sort of movement. Leo, you just need environments where you're allowed to express your creativity freely. Sagittarius, anything that allows you to explore, to learn, to teach, to share. It just has to have some purpose to it. Now, if you have earth signs in the sixth house, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, you need stability. you need more routine and structure than the other signs do. This could also be anything that supports wellness. Earth signs are about the material world and the body. Taurus, definitely comfort, luxury, beauty, or something related to finance or money. Virgo, you need a structured environment that allows you to serve and help. And because you're ruled by Mercury, you also need an environment that allows you to exercise your amazing problem solving skill. Capricorn, you need an environment that allows you to do what you do best: lead, build structures, and plan for the future. And if you have water signs in this sixth house, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, you need fluidity. You need to be able to flow. You need emotional connection and safety. Cancer, you may literally work from home or work on something that involves the home or something that gives you the sense of home or comfort. Either way, you need more of a nurturing space, kind of less like the typical office. Scorpio, because of how deep you go, you need very meaningful work. You need to be able to focus and go as deep as you need to. A lot of Scorpios prefer to work or be in solitude. They don't like surprises, and they need to be able to control kind of what their day to day looks like. Pisces, anything that is conducive to your creativity, your imagination, your spirituality, your well being practices, anything also that allows you to serve, to help people in a very compassionate, empathetic way. If you are feeling the 3Ds, depleted, drained, and disconnected in an environment, around people, or even in the place that you live, this is your soul's way of speaking to you. Listen and act accordingly. Now, what does this look like? It could look like making possible, even if there's small adjustments that feel better or more aligned to you. It could be having difficult conversations with the people that are involved and setting boundaries. It could be closing chapters completely, because if we don't advocate for our physical, mental, and emotional health and well-being, who will? Anyways, I hope that that helped, and I would love to see you in the Higher Vibe Society membership. This is a community that I built to be able to interact with you all directly and do deep dives on spirituality, on healing, on our charts, on our cards. You name it, all in the name of healing and raising our vibrations and frequencies and being able to live the lives that we want. So I hope to see you there. And for sure, I will see you in the next episode.